As floodwaters ravaged a Texas summer camp, it wasn't government agencies but everyday Texans, parents, counselors, and neighbors, who risked everything to save lives. This heroic response highlights the true strength of Americans and raises important questions about who we should trust in times of crisis.
Hello, and welcome to That News Show, where we discuss the latest facts, fakes, and hypocrisy as reported by the legacy media. Let's roll the tape.
Fox News has been covering heroic survival stories from the flooded Texas camp. On Independence Day, a sudden flood swept through Camp Mystic. This story isn't just about tragedy, it's a powerful reminder that American resilience is our greatest strength. Remarkably, it wasn't government agencies but ordinary Texans, counselors, and parents who saved lives, embodying the true American spirit of community. You're in for a treat.
And so they called those that were missing. They didn't try to call the 750 and say your daughters are safe. They called, which I thought was very smart, and they called the ones who are missing and said, we are searching for them. So we had a good idea very early of where we were. We surged 400 to 500 people in immediately. Helicopters, we had as many helicopters in the air as we could get safely with drones, because you get too many, you have another disaster in the air. The weather was overcast, even raining yesterday, part of the day.
The response from local authorities and first responders in Texas was a textbook example of how American communities can act swiftly and decisively in the face of disaster. What we witnessed in Texas was the result of local initiative, not an international task force or a bloated federal agency. It was Texans helping Texans, neighbors risking everything for each other, and local officials making tough decisions under pressure. This exemplifies the success of empowering local agencies and trusting the judgment of those on the ground instead of relying on a distant federal bureaucracy. This is the America we believe in, strong, self-reliant, and united by shared values, not divided by politics or distracted by globalist agendas. As the search continues and families wait for news, the nation's attention remains fixed on the missing girls and the heroes working to bring them home. The resilience and faith of these families, the bravery of counselors breaking windows to save children, and the tireless work of search teams all remind us that real solutions come from strong communities, not from globalist schemes or excessive federal intervention. Drones have revolutionized search and rescue operations, allowing teams to quickly and safely cover vast, treacherous areas, thereby reducing risks to human rescuers and increasing the chances of finding survivors during critical early hours. This stands in stark contrast to the government mismanagement and misplaced priorities seen in previous administrations, where warnings were ignored, resources were misallocated, and accountability was lacking.
This is the time you're tested. We've surged now. There are close to 1,200 people working in shifts, doing everything possible, and the president has put his full weight of the federal government to give us help. Kristi Noem, I talked to her earlier this morning before she came into Kerrville. And so we've gotten all the support we want. We have the best emergency management team in the world, I believe. We had pre-positioned some assets there to help us, because we knew rain was coming, but you can never predict exactly where and what. It was over about 150-mile area the storm could have hit. And what happened at 5 o'clock in the morning or so yesterday was the worst possible storm in the worst possible place to the most vulnerable people.
The true backbone of this response is the local community, law enforcement, volunteers, and residents, all ready to risk everything for their neighbors. These steps not only honor the bravery seen in Kerrville, but also set a precedent for national safety standards. The standout feature of this operation is the seamless coordination between state and federal resources, with assets strategically prepositioned in anticipation of severe weather. Modernizing our alert systems and ensuring reliable, real-time communication in high-risk areas must be a priority over international commitments. As efforts continue to locate the missing girls, our focus must remain on practical reforms, upgrading weather technology, enforcing local safety standards, and supporting the mental health of survivors and first responders. Witnessing nearly 1,200 people working tirelessly in shifts showcases the remarkable spirit and capability of our emergency management teams. The federal government has provided essential support, allowing local expertise to lead the way, a notable shift from the previous administration's slow-moving bureaucracy, which often delayed resources and left communities in need of answers. This is the America we strive to uphold, one where the federal government supports but does not overshadow local initiative. This proactive strategy is crucial and should be a model nationwide. The most effective solutions emerge from empowering those closest to the issues, rather than expanding federal oversight or deferring to international authorities. A significant concern is the outdated national weather alert systems. We must prioritize the well-being and safety of our citizens above all else.
So we'll go back and examine all of that. the one thing always to remember, and I don't know if there's fault. If there's fault, we'll find it and we'll fix it. But here's what I do know, is that storms are very unpredictable. And up until the day before, they were saying minor. And then they picked it up a little bit more. And it really wasn't until the 4th that they picked it up a larger number. And that's what people look at, is the National Weather Forecast. And that storm could have moved, it could have moved 50 miles in the last 20 minutes. I've seen hurricanes move in an hour.
Dan, this is kind of flood alley.
It was a watch,
though.
and so we'll see what the warnings and what they were and what they should have been. But we'll look at that after. Right now, let's focus on these 27 and others.
Fox News' coverage commendably highlights the heroism of counselors and the selflessness of Texans during the disaster. Visually, Fox News excels in depicting the devastation and scale of response efforts through aerial footage, maps, and interviews. This unpredictability underscores the critical need for local preparedness and personal responsibility, particularly in Texas's flood-prone areas where severe weather can escalate unexpectedly. In summary, Fox News' reporting on the Texas floods captures the essence of American resilience and the need for local empowerment. While it questions the adequacy of warning systems and decisions by camp officials, a more thorough examination of why development standards and evacuation protocols weren't more stringent in a known flood-prone area could enhance the coverage. Storms like the one that struck Camp Mystic starkly remind us of nature's unpredictability, a theme accurately echoed in the broadcast. The use of survivor accounts and on-the-ground visuals enhances this human-centered storytelling, steering clear of the detached tone often widespread in national coverage. Fox News could dig in deeper into systemic issues. Yet credibility could be further bolstered by incorporating more independent experts to analyze what went right and what requires urgent reform, particularly concerning the outdated National Weather Service alert systems. The ongoing search for the missing girls and the stories of neighbors risking everything for each other highlight the exceptional nature of our country, marked by faith, courage, and a deep commitment to community. These techniques effectively express the disaster's magnitude and the complexity of the response, emphasizing the importance of local readiness and infrastructure modernization. By focusing on individual bravery and community resilience, the network offers a vivid portrayal of the American spirit. This isn't just retrospective, it's about ensuring accountability and learning from past events.
And so if people want to help, but prayer. Number one, pray for these families and for these missing children and for those that were missing who were along the banks, the adults there and children as well.
God bless them all, and God bless you. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, thanks for being here, and our prayers certainly go on.
In times of profound loss, as families search for loved ones along the riverbanks, Texans draw strength from their deep-rooted tradition of turning to prayer and God, a practice that has sustained them through many hardships. The response from Texas leaders, emphasizing faith, community support, and practical measures, contrasts sharply with previous administrative priorities that overlooked essential updates to weather alert systems and infrastructure resilience. The spirit of Texas is characterized not only by prayer, but by the determination to rebuild through hard work, economic ingenuity, and a collective resilience that is uniquely Texan. The economic repercussions of the devastation along the Guadalupe River extend far beyond the immediate tragedy. This is not just a story of adversity, but of hope, and the unyielding belief that with the right policies and community spirit, we can overcome the toughest challenges. Prayer and faith are central to this community's response to crisis, providing both spiritual support and practical resilience. Now, with proactive leadership and federal support, more aligned with local needs, resources are being directed efficiently to those affected, without unnecessary bureaucratic delays. The situation also serves as a stark reminder of the importance of personal financial preparedness. Imagine a household budget obliterated by floodwaters, savings depleted, property ruined, and a future filled with financial uncertainties. As the community continues to search for those still missing, the nation's prayers are with them. Just as affected families are dealing with unexpected expenses, all households should consider establishing an emergency fund, reviewing their insurance coverage, and supporting local businesses that are the pillars of community resilience. Families facing the loss of both homes and livelihoods are confronted with overwhelming financial challenges. Well, there you have it. What unfolded in Texas was not the result of a grand government strategy or bureaucratic success. It was ordinary Americans, neighbors, families, and volunteers responding to disaster with remarkable courage and resilience. This is the true American narrative, not the illusions propagated by globalists or the unfulfilled promises of the previous Democratic administration that left communities more vulnerable and dependent. Under President Trump's leadership, we've witnessed the strength of local initiatives and personal responsibility. Perhaps it's time we stop waiting for solutions from Washington and start trusting in our own capabilities again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments below. This has been That News Show. That's all I have for now.